I met Deb through my Sociology of Sexualities class, first semester of sophomore year.
I first met Deb in freshman year when I took Sociology of Sexuality with her.
I met Deb for the first time sophomore year when I took Sociology of Work. It was a 9:40 class, Tuesday, Thursday.
I met Deb in Social Theories.
I took Sociology of Work.
I met Deb for the first time in Social Theories, but I had seen her around and I think been hugged by her like 20 times before then, because she was always in the Soc office and just being super nice and cheerful in there.
I actually met Deb before I met Deb because we like to joke around the students that there's just like a Deb cult on campus, whereas when I came to campus I kept hearing about her all the time, so I really wanted to take a class with her, and then I finally met her.
I had heard of her before that, though, when I was asking around what sociology class to take, and they said anything by Deb Smith, anything she teaches. And so I met her the first day of that class, and it was fantastic.
And it was actually, I wasn't originally signed up for that class, but then I decided I wanted to be a sociology major, so maybe a week and a half into the semester I showed up and I was like, is it okay still? And she was like, sure, and then threw candy at me and probably hugged me for 5 minutes. And so I was like, yep, I'm gonna be a social major.
I think I walked in late and she was already throwing candy at people, and that's when I knew that Deb was gonna be an awesome professor.
She came in and I think I first assumed that she was one of the students or maybe a TA or something, because she was just so adorable and bubbly and looked just like a senior or something. And then I found out, oh, this is my professor, and I was so excited.
And it's been, to this day, it's been one of my favorite courses I've ever taken, definitely at Macalester.
I first met Deb Smith when she taught me Sociology of Sexualities, and she has also taught me Social Theories and Sociology of Culture.
I have taken Social Theories, Social Work, and Senior Seminar.
Yes, I took Sociology of Sexuality, I took Sociology of Work, and I really enjoyed those two classes. And then I also took Social Theories with her.
I've taken Sociology of Sexuality, Sociology of Culture, Social Theories, Intro to Sociology, Sociology of Work, Senior Seminar, and now I'm precepting Sociology of Sexuality.
I think I've taken everything she's offered. So I've had theory, culture, work. I'm in sex now, social sexualities, for whoever this is going to, keep it classy. And senior sem.
I've taken Social of Sex, Social of Culture, I precepted Intro to Social with Deb, and Senior Sem.
I'm basically a Deb scholar when it comes to my Soc minor. I've taken Sociology of Sexuality, Sociology of Culture, Sociology of Work, and Social Theories. I think that's all but one, the Intro to Sociology.
I think I really like Sociology of Culture because I never really thought about culture in that way before. She really challenged my perception about culture, and it was so engaging and interesting. The course was so well structured.
I think there's a good balance with that, where there's a lecture and then there's a lot of discussion, but it's well structured enough that it stays on point, but at the same time there's room for creativity within the class. So that's something that I haven't found with too many other professors. So, and obviously just she's Deb, her energy, her craziness, her lovability. I don't know if that's a word. She's a lovely woman.
I think Sociology of Sexualities is a dividing line in my life, basically. I can't remember how I thought before I took that class. I'll think of things and be like, yeah, of course I've always thought that, I've always known that gender was a construction. Of course that's impossible, but I mean, that just, it flipped my world around and opened it up. And social work did the same thing for me theoretically. It just made me look at the world in different ways, how theory is applied, Marxist theory is applied, how theories by Foucault can be seen in the workplace, and Hochschild and emotion management, all of these things that I can now identify in the world all the time.
Social theories, because It was the class where we got to make the most creative skits. We had a really amazing group of students in that class, and our skit literally involved a full theater set. We brought a phone and food, and we had all of the furniture. We had a carpet. I was pregnant for the skit, and it was really creative and really fun. And then another group did a skit with Karl Marx. I think Kate Evans was in that one, and they all had little mustaches, and they had like sort of a Jerry Springer version of social theory, so they kind of interviewed Karl Marx and his wife, and it was really, really funny.
In sociology of work, I performed 2 skits with a group, and those skits were encouraged us to be creative, to have fun, and to be funny, which played to my strengths. I remember the class's reaction to both of the skits. They absolutely loved it.
I remember that she almost started crying at a group presentation we gave. It was one of our very first group presentations. And I mean, it was really fun to do, and I thought it was good, but just, she had to stop the class, and everybody had to applaud us before we could move on with the discussion. I thought that was the cutest thing I'd ever seen from a teacher. I have a lot of teachers who, at the end of a presentation, will just start ragging into you right away, so that was great.
I remember there was one time she I forget how this related to class, but it definitely did. And she was showing us pictures of this celebration she had. Yeah, of her celebrating her divorce or something. And it was just a series of photos of her hitting a piñata. And so it was just kind of stop motion of her this with the stick, and it was hilarious because the look of glee on her face was indescribable.
This one time when we were in social culture, she was pacing around the room and gesticulating stuff and getting really lost in really passionately explaining what she was explaining, and she didn't realize that she kind of leaned against a table and fell over, but she picked herself up immediately and on the spot came with a joke that fully connected to the class material that day.
The most recent wolf impression, or coyote impression, was probably my favorite.
I think my funniest memory of Deb ever would be once when she sat down on a table in social culture and the table flipped over.
I mean, this happens about every other class, but it's just kind of her talking, moving around the room, and then she backs up into the whiteboard and almost falls over. I don't think she's ever actually fallen, but yeah, I would say, well, and obviously the candy throwing, times that she's almost injured students by throwing candy.
My funniest memory of Deb is her falling down almost every night class we had.